Alright guys, so I got something kind of cool today. Well, if you like tools, if you're a mechanic, if you like to work in dusty, musty garages, it'll be cool. Today, as you saw from the title, we're going to look and see what's inside the toolboxes. So, stick around. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get this started. If you guys don't have one of those lights, you should get one. Those things work awesome. The only thing is, the light bulb in there, that thing gets awful hot and you can burn the crap out of yourself. I've done it. I think I got this thing at Harbor Freight or something like that, like 20 years ago. But yeah, they're awesome lights. Top of the box, that's what the inside of the lid looks like. And we got Yosemite Sam over here. That's kind of our garage mascot. That thing has stayed in there since my wife bought it for me. But anyway, we got the little body anvils and body hammers, ball peens. Yes, I know it's probably not a safe handle, but it's not a very big hammer, and I don't really hit things too hard with it. But and beside that, I just haven't replaced it yet. No toolbox would be really complete without extra fuel line. I got a couple different sizes here, and you know, like I said, it works for, you know, a pinch if you need to patch up a, you know, a leaky line or something like that. Really an essential item. And moving on, we got brass fittings and things like that. Some of that stuff is for an air compressor, and it's kind of mixed up. But hose clamps and different things. A little extendable mirror. This thing actually kind of telescopes out, and you can get it gets like 4 feet long. But if it was clean, you'd be able to see something through it. But it's not, so we're not gonna worry about it. Got a Sharpie back here, and some wire connectors. My YouTube business cards. My first chip from the Fatwood Anonymous. Duct tape. Oh shit. There's where my keys are. Outstanding. I'll have to remember to get those. Like I said, duct tape and earplugs, razor knives, X-Acto knives. I don't really know what this big pair of scissors is doing in here, but this pair of scissors has been there for years, so it is what it is. Another Sharpie in there. This is a horn button from a 66 Chevelle. And then first drawer, we have chisels and punches. These things have been really beat the crap out of. But you know, they still work, so we'll just keep on using them. Next drawer, we got wire strippers and crimpers and rivet gun. And let's see, I'll have to move that out of the way. Penetrant. Oh yeah. Drill bits, chuck keys, and a pipe cutter. Just usually use the pipe cutter thing here for cutting brake lines and things like that if I'm replacing fuel line and brake line. Do that shit myself. Let's see. In here we have metal cutting shears and crescent wrenches, different sizes, pipe wrenches, different sizes. And it looks like a battery terminal cleaner. In here we just have nut drivers, Allen keys or Allen wrenches, And these are kind of cool. This is a bunch of different little letters and numbers and things like that. Like if you're restoring a frame and it just happens to be that part of the frame that you're working on is rusted out and you have to replace it, you can redo the VIN number and punch it back into the frame with these. All different numbers and letters and whatnot. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm kind of grateful I was able to get these out of my grandpa's box. But, they work really good. In here, I don't usually use any of this stuff in here except for like the tire gauges and the spark plug gapping tools, battery terminal cleaner. These are just for oil filters. This is the different sizes for the oil filters. And this one here is for a Toyota from like 84 to 94 or 85 to 95 or something like that. But, oh well. In this drawer we have a hodgepodge of vice grips and side cutters and pliers and channel locks and things. I got some of these robo grip things right here. You know, I heard some bad reviews on those things, but you know, I've used them for a while and you know, I don't have a problem with them. But it is what it is. Next drawer we got clamps. Bunch of these tools and things, they get rusted because well, number one, they're old, and number two, there's a lot of moisture in the garage a lot of times with humidity and whatnot. But anyway, got my piston ring compressor, which actually that's out because I'm going to be doing move that thing out of the way here. I'm going to be doing an engine with a guy, and he knows I got all kinds of shit. So my timing light, underneath the timing light is a bunch of different flat bastard files, and those are for a chainsaw, and those are needle files. And this is my torque wrench. It's just Pittsburgh Tools. It's like 25 years old. I've built probably 20 engines with this thing, and that still holds up pretty good. Really know what the big deal is with the Harbor Freight. You know, everybody on YouTube just has something against Harbor Freight, but you know, it is what it is. When you need a tool and you need it fast, they're there. And I heard somebody say one time that, oh shit, that's locked. There we go. I heard somebody say one time that you know, it's just a bunch of Chinese junk. Well, you know, some of that Chinese junk that I have from that store's lasted a lot of years. But anyway, I have screwdrivers, all different kinds. There's Stanley, there's Craftsman, there's like this one right here is called Credo Commercial. I've had this thing a long time. But we have like these kind of screwdrivers and the tips for them and the magnetic deals for them. And that should be closed. I don't know why that was not closed. Maybe Jimmy was in there. But and actually that's what that sticker right there is for. My dad put that on there a long time ago because of me, actually. Borrowing shit and not putting it back in its place and not cleaning it after I was done using it. So I guess that could be for Jimmy now. But yeah, there's Pittsburgh Tools. There's all kinds of different name brand tools in here. I don't really have a preference. Got these kind of screwdrivers in here. I don't use these too often, but I plan on restoring them at some point. And this thing over here has just got extra nuts and bolts and shit in it. This is actually the top of a piston from a Corsair airplane from 1944. It's engraved in it. It says Lay Island, October 20th, 1944 on it right there. But you have to take my word for it because you probably can't really see it. But yep, that's the first drawer at the bottom. And we have the 3/8 drive sockets. Most of it is Craftsman. There are some, like these right here. These are Cobalt. And this is a cobalt ratchet. This thing it telescopes up, and if you don't want to turn it, you can just twist the handle, and it'll do it for you that way if you're lazy. Various extensions and whatnot. A couple pieces of pipe for leverage. I think all toolboxes should have a piece of pipe in them. But you know, that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's the first drawer for the sockets. This is all the wrenches. Like I said, most of it is Craftsman, but there are a few things in here like Duratest. I don't know where the hell that came from. Don't really care. I do know there's one wrench in here. I think this one. It's from JCPenney. I don't even know if JCPenney still sells tools, but I've had it a long time. Got wrenches like this. You know, just various sizes. I got one like that. I don't even really know what you would use this wrench for, like what its purpose actually is, other than to take the nuts off of bolts. Of course I know that. You know, and then I got a gimmicky tool like this in here. These dog bone tools, they weren't real reliable. These joints, that's where the fail point is on these things. But my wife bought it for me a few years ago, and I just keep it in there. This one here, this wrench is actually for distributors, taking the adjusting the distributor and like to take it out and stuff for the bolts and whatnot that are at the top of the or at the bottom of the distributor. Anyway, god damn, I think I need more coffee. We got these kind of wrenches here. They ratchet, you know. This is like the first generation of these kind of ratchet wrenches, but yeah, I don't know, they work all right. I don't use them a whole lot too much anymore. But I got like a whole set of these little stubby Pittsburgh Tools Harbor Freight wrenches. I've actually used these quite a bit, and yes, they're from India, not China, if that makes any difference. But I don't really know what difference it would make, but whatever. Next drawer we have the big boy sockets. These are 1/2-inch drive. These are 1-inch drive up here, 1/2-inch drive, 1-inch drive, and these are impacts. And you have this is an extension for the 1-inch. It's a big extension. And you have the shorter extension for that. This is the breaker bar for the 1-inch. That head actually slides back and forth. And of course, you know, you got your ratchet. This one here, this is an old ratchet that it was actually the first ratchet I ever used when I was a kid. It needs some work. The gears don't really mess too much anymore. It skips every once in a while, but I leave it in there just because. How about this? How about a speed handle? I don't really see too many mechanics using these anymore, but I use them all the time for taking water pumps and heads and stuff like that off of engines. I think they serve their purpose, and my toolbox won't be without it. This thing is pretty cool. You can put this on a breaker bar, and this is 1/2-inch drive right here. But you can turn the breaker bar into a ratchet. So you just have like a really, really big ratchet. Works really good. This is a snap-on. Like I said, I've got all kind of different tools, man. I don't discriminate. I mean, and to be totally honest with you, I don't really know how many more Craftsman tools are going to be put in this box. Mainly because Sears is going out of business. So, I mean, back in, you know, a few years ago, back toward the end of Kmart's life, they were selling Craftsman tools. But they've since disappeared, and Sears is disappearing as well. So I don't know the future of the Craftsman tool line, They might start selling them out of the back of a truck for all I know, like Snap-on and Macro tools and stuff like that. You know, if that happens, usually the price of the tools go up, and I'm just not about that life. You know, I like to do things as budget friendly as possible. But yeah, I don't really know. A good alternative to good alternative to Craftsman is Cobalt. Mainly because Cobalt has the same type of lifetime guarantee. If I broke this ratchet, or if I broke one of these sockets, I could take it back to Lowe's and come out of there with brand new sockets or whatever tool I bring in there. About a nutcracker. But anyway, yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen with Craftsman, so you know, it is what it is. We have in this drawer, we have all my assortment of Ford tools. A hacksaw, about some coil spring compressors. The mate for this one, I actually just broke this thing a couple weeks ago, but you know, can't complain. I got my money's worth out of it. You know, this thing was probably 30 years old, you know, but I got my money's worth out of it, so that's why I don't have a problem with Harbor Freight, because that's where that came from. This right here is the replacements for the other coil spring compressors. These things work really, really good, and they should, because they're brand new. But they also came from Harbor Freight. I got crazy stuff in here, like, oh my god, like an old auger. I don't know why it's in there, but it's in there. Oh yeah, just move that shit around. I got my my wedges for splitting wood. The reason why those are in there is because Jimmy likes to play with those. And then underneath, we just have extension cords, and that ammo box is a toolbox I'm going to put together for Jimmy. And then my grinder with a very, very well-used flap wheel. But anyway, that's box 1. Now let's go over and do box 2. And by chance, if one of your Ford tools didn't work out, you always grab your Dodge tool. Alright guys, so you guys know that this is my YouTube Toolbox Hall of Fame right here. That's what the inside of the lid looks like. Oh yeah. But anyway, the top is kind of a hodgepodge of different things. We got Life Gear flashlight that I did a review on. These things actually work really good underneath the car. Stick that thing under there and you turn it on, you see everything. And you got a couple of hatchet hammer heads that I'm going to restore and put new handles on. And a tape measure and some pigtails and pins for the tow hitch and locks for the tow hitch. This is one of those things you put on an oil bottle for making less spillage. But I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can always find a way to spill shit. This hatchet right here is the one that I cut my hand. Some of you guys weren't here whenever that happened, and I cut my hand in the crease right here all the way to the bone. And just being stupid and being unsafe, and you know, I keep it in there just to remind me of safety. But we have really the only real useful tool in here is like these things right here for cleaning paint off a car. One's the grinding stone right here. The thing's old as shit and it's been used quite a bit, but it still works kind of. And we have wire testers and pencils and Sharpie and a pair of scissors I caught Jimmy playing with. when he was a little kid. The top drawer is taps and dies. This is the newer set. I've used these things a little bit, not too much, but they work pretty good. Harbor Freight. And these ones right here, this is the remnants of the old set. Just a little bit. And some rotary files and some punches. And this is screw extractors and bolt extractors. Work pretty good. This is Craftsman. And in this drawer we have tools for drum brakes. And we have snap ring pliers and a multimeter, some little picks. But yep, that's that drawer. In this drawer we have my my gear pullers. There's two different sets in here. This is the new one, and this is the set that didn't last, actually. The old set works good. I bought a new set because, you know, I figured what the hell, have two sets. But I have two toolboxes, one I have two sets. But yep, that's what's in here. This is the welding drawer for all the, like the arc welder. For this bad girl right here. This is Chicago Electric. Harbor Freight. I got it like 15 years ago. It's awesome. Works great. I don't know why people have such a hard time dealing with Harbor Freight, but it is what it is. When you need a tool and you need it quick, you know, that's where I always go. And they say that professional mechanics don't use Harbor Freight, and that is baloney. I know a lot of professional mechanics that use Harbor Freight. It's because they can't afford the tools that are on the back of the Snap-on truck. But anyway, you know, got some vice grip clamps, some different welding rods, some different sizes, the hammer, a couple of Burns-O-Matic torch tips, some solder, a couple of strikers. This drawer here has like I got these. This is the different attachments for this little rotary tool. Just a little cheap ass little rotary tool. My Dremel actually took a shit on me, but I got this one. It works all right. It's not great, but I mean it is what it is. I got these for Christmas. Down here we have rulers and little shape things, you know, and that 3-sided ruler. That's kind of cool. My dad was a draftsman before he went in the Air Force in the city of Pittsburgh. So anyway, we got different crowbars and a glue gun and wire brush in there. Down here is the air tools. I prefer to use air tools as opposed to a lot of these young kids and whatnot. They use these battery-powered drills and shit like that, battery-powered impacts to take nuts off and stuff like that, take bolts out. I would rather use this stuff. I actually saw a YouTube channel call this old technology. I say that's bullshit. But anyway, that's the air tools. And then this wouldn't fit in there, and I don't think I'd put it in there anyway. This is my my spray gun. This thing's probably painted 20 cars, but it's old, and I should probably replace it. But it works pretty good, so it is what it is. And it's not in the drawer because I didn't want to smash it. And then underneath we have a big Craftsman drill. This is I got two of these actually. There's one here and then one back there. It's a Toyota jack. That green bag right there is the jack attachments for a Toyota truck, and then my buffer. And then on the floor we have my receiver hitches for my truck. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. It was pretty fun to do, and there's a few reasons. Oh, not closed all the way. Nice. There's a few reasons why I did this video. First reason, because couple of my friends did a video and showed what was in their toolboxes, and I had already thought about doing it, and I left a comment on a video. One of those guys was Jeep Things Outdoors, and when I left that comment on his video about how I thought about doing it, he said he'd love to see what was in my toolbox. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me, buddy. And the other guy is Outlaw Edge. Matt's a good dude, and I've known him for a long time, and he got to see what was in there too. So I hope you liked it as well, bud. You know, there's another reason why, you know, I kind of showed what was in the toolbox, or toolboxes. I'm going to be bringing back mechanics to this channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more in the garage on cars and bikes and, you know, different stuff, you know, little projects here and there. I had thought about going to Copart, and if you don't know what Copart is it's an auto auction salvage place, and they work mainly with insurance companies, and basically what they do is they take totaled out vehicles and they sell them, and of course they try to get as much out of them as they can. Some of those cars are on reserve and stuff, but we have a Copart in my city, and I was going to go check it out and see what they had, and possibly get a project car for this channel. But upon talking to a few of my other friends, it's probably not a good idea, you know, mainly because a project like that takes a lot of money, and if you don't have sponsors throwing parts at you to put on that car or that truck or whatever, it can get pretty expensive. So for right now, it's not going to happen. I got a couple of other projects sitting on my driveway anyway. You know, I have my GMC pickup truck and my camper. So I don't know if I'm going to do one first and then the other one, or kind of mix them together or what. I don't know. But I know that the first thing that we work on is going to be the truck, for sure. I got to do something about those body panels on it. There's a lot of dents on the truck, and I got to pull that stuff out. I got a fender sitting over there that I got to put on, and I got a headlight that's actually, my driver's side headlight's tilted down toward the street. So I'm thinking that maybe the radiator core support is bent. So I'm gonna have to take a hammer to that and see if I can't get that to straighten up. But anyway, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.